I was just thinking of one practical thing we could do that your listeners might like, which is, can I just tell you the 3 questions that you can ask to measure your urgent optimism and give you a sense of which
Absolutely.
of those 3 habits or skills you might want to practice more? So it's really simple. And I like to say you can pick this for any topic. So it might be the future of psychedelics for mental health treatment, might be something you're interested in, or it could be the future of college education. So pick a specific topic. And then you ask 3 questions. When you think about the next 10 years, how much do you think this topic will change on a scale of 1 to 10? So 1 is almost no change, everything stays the same. 10 is extreme change. Almost everything is dramatically rethought or reinvented, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much change do you expect? 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, when you think about the changes that are likely to happen in the next 10 years, are you mostly worried or mostly excited about them? So 1 is extremely worried, 10 is extremely excited. And then 1 to 10, how much influence or control do you have personally in how this change happens? And so 1 is almost no control or influence, and 10 is almost complete control or influence. And not only is it helpful for us to think like, oh, I need to practice some more realistic hope, find some reasons to hope if I have a low number, or I need to pay more attention to the World Economic Forum's global risk report. If I'm like at a 10, maybe I should try to learn more about the risks. It's so cool to share numbers with people. And man, do I love talking to people who are at like 7s, 8s, on 9s on topics that I'm at a 1, 2, or 3 about. Is super fun. So I just wanted to put that, it's like a practical fun for you. Talk to people about it, share your numbers, and think about how you might practically increase your urgent optimism on the ones that you have lower numbers for.
Could you give a personal example for yourself on a particular topic, industry, situation that we haven't discussed yet? It could be one that we've talked about if that lends itself, but that would be super helpful for me, because when I hear these questions, I can see the value in answering them, and I find that my default, so I'm not asking for a solution to my particular malfunction here, but I think it correlates very highly to the kind of existential malaise and apathy of a lot of young people, although I'm definitely too bearded and too bald to be considering myself young at this point. Nonetheless, though, I can answer question 1 pretty easily for most things. And then I think generally I skew very pessimistic.
Yeah.
I have a very Hobbesian view of humans in general, which is maybe another issue. And then 3, with respect to like the agency, sometimes I feel very little agency, or I feel a lot of agency, but I don't know if I want to be just like going through just a forest of headaches and difficult humans with a machete for most of my time, if the upside isn't certain. So could you give an example of something in your life that you've sort of applied these questions to?
Let's go back to drones. So drones create a lot of anxiety in people for good reason. They create noise pollution. They create visual pollution. They can be used for surveillance, remote policing, privacy intrusions.
Warfare,
right. And I started seeing drones just out in the world, seeing signs like no drone zone. I didn't know, is that a law? Is that a recommendation? I realized I didn't know what the rules or policies were around drones. I didn't know why. Why are we spending so much time and money developing this technology? All I ever hear about are a lot of the risks. So for me, drone was a space that I wanted to explore and maybe build some urgent optimism, and not optimism in the sense of I'm going to become an evangelist for drones and I'm going to be like, the feature's great, I don't have to worry about it anymore, but to increase my confidence that I can imagine a future with more drones. I understand what it might mean, the risks, the opportunities, and that there are things I can do to be ready for it or help shape it. So I started talking to people, looking on Google Scholar, finding drone hobbyist communities. What are people using them for that is not terrible, right? So I learned about witness.org actually has a drone training program for people to document war crimes, human rights violations, authoritarian governments doing terrible things, to create irrefutable evidence, right? So to be a witness for this, as drones as a form of activist journalism and documenting reality. I learned about the emotions that we feel when we look at aerial footage. So drones, it turns out, can create a kind of visceral feeling that I don't even know if we have a word for it yet. It's a strange new positive emotion where we have an almost this kind of godlike omniscience because we're seeing everything from above, but we're moving, we're like swooping through the air like an eagle. There's an incredible new positive emotion that we don't even have a word for yet that artists can use, storytellers can use, therapists can use by using drones to give us a viewpoint we've never seen. Did you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say my ask of my audience is somebody come up with a clever German word for whatever that feeling is and
Yes.
put it online, because there's got to be some way to slap a bunch of adjectives and nouns together into a word that'll get that done.
Thank you, Tim. That is an amazing suggestion. What else did I learn? I went to Google News and was like, just show me what people are doing with drones right now. And I learned that just a couple of months ago, the first organ was delivered for transplant, that they couldn't get this organ. I think it was a heart. They couldn't get it there fast enough, except for delivering it by drone. So the first emergency medical delivery. So learning about the positive uses while also learning about, well, what are the rules and policies? Like, who decides? I mean, to me, it became fascinating rather than anxiety producing to expose myself to who is in charge of drones. Is it the FAA? Yes, in part. Is it local parks and recreation? Yes, in part. Because in order to have future power, we have to know who's making the rules, right? Because I need to know what the rules are, who's shaping them, who's advocating for what. It's like building urgent optimism. It's like following a string out of a labyrinth. It's like you're taking all these twists and turns. You've got your radar up, so you're going to hear about weird new risks. You're going to hear about cool new uses. And I like to think it's essentially a process of opening your mind. And if there's something you care about, these habits of looking for the clues, and if you're negative, looking for, well, who's excited and what are they excited about, to kind of create the balance, who's in charge, who has power now, so you can even understand where power is being concentrated, what are the companies that are most advanced in this technology. It's literally just a practice. It's a practice like meditation, where we just have to kind of show up with this curiosity, actively collecting these clues every day.